Hello everybody, we're going to do a video lesson today on section 6.1 to introduce graphing into the elementary algebra course. And for this one we're going to just introduce or perhaps review how we find the coordinates of points. The technique I use for this is what's usually referred to as what I call my taxi and skyscraper method, where when we look at an ordered pair of points, we refer to them often as x and y. And what will happen is when we look at an ordered pair of points, the first number, which is going to be called our x-coordinate, is going to tell us from the origin, and the origin is where the x-axis and y-axis cross in a Cartesian coordinate system. From the origin, it's going to tell us how much we either go to the left if the x value is negative, or how much we go to the right if the x value is positive. From that point, wherever we move left or right, we're going to use the y-coordinate to tell us either how much we go up if it's positive or how much we go down if it's negative. Now, in this particular question, they're asking for the coordinates of B, point B. I'll show that, but I'll show a few other coordinates here too, just to illustrate how this works in principle. So we have B. B is right here. Before I show B, I'm going to go show a few others just to kind of illustrate this. So I want the coordinate for point A. So how this is going to work is we're going to go from the origin. We're going to go under point A. So that means to get to point A, we're going to move to the right first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because I move 5 to the right, that's going to be positive. That's what I'm showing right here. And from here, once I count up 5, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And since we go 4, that's going to be positive. So that's just one example there of that coordinate. Let's go ahead and take a look at point D, how this works. So for point D, to get to that point, again, we move left to right first. So if you imagine the taxi skyscraper method I talk about is you're going to take a taxi across town before you go up an escalator or go down an escalator to go whatever floor you're going to go to a building. Here we're going to go to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because we're going to the left, that means we're going to count that as a negative 5. But here we're going to go ahead and go up 2. And because we're going up, that's going to be positive 2. And now I'm going to look at point E, see how we find the coordinate of that. That's point right here. So I'm going to go to the left. First I go to the left. I never go up or down first. I go to the either left or right. I go to the left 1. Because I'm going to the left, that's going to be negative 1. And now because I'm going down 1, I am going to count that as being a negative value also. Let's go and take a look at point F. For point F, I'm going to go ahead and go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to the right 5, so that's going to be positive. But since I'm going down 1, I'm going to mark that as 5, negative 1. And these sets of coordinates are going to match the letters that are labeled with the points in what we call a Cartesian coordinate system. In this particular question, they're asking about the coordinates of point B. And for this one, all we need to do is go down. Since we don't need to go left and right, we're not moving left or right at all, so we're going to write that as a 0. But we do go down 4. That brings us to negative 4, hence we're going to have the coordinate for B of 0, negative 4. Okay, let's show another example here. So we have the coordinates of C. So we're going to go to the right first. We're going to go to the right 1. And then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. So the coordinate for point C is 1, 3. I'm going to move this up to question 3 now, and you'll see here we have E, that's over here, so I'm going to write a place to put my coordinates in. From the origin, I start here. I'm going to move to the left 1, and because I'm moving to the left, I put negative 1. But I have to go down 5, so I'm going to write this as negative 5. So my coordinate for point E is negative 1, negative 5. Over here, I'm asked for the coordinates of point G. Again, when I want to find the coordinates, I'm going to go to the right. I want to get to this point from the origin. I go to the right, so that's going to be 1 to the right. I'm going to go down 3, so that's going to be negative 3. And finally, question 5, I want to get to point C. So from the origin, I move to the right 3. I move up 5. So my coordinate here is going to be 3 and 5. In question 6, we're asked now to determine if an ordered pair is a solution for the following equation. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this is done. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at 3, 6, 12, 0, and 0, 21. So when I have the ordered pair 3, 6, what this is saying is this is an ordered pair x, y. Well, we can say here that x is equal to 3 and that y is equal to 6. Okay, so you could think of it kind of like this. And what they're asking is, if I write the equation out, 5x plus y, is that equal to 21? So I'm going to go ahead and let x equal 3. I'm going to let y equal 6. And if I put that in, will that work? So this is going to be 5 times 3 plus 6. And if you put that in a scientific calculator, 5 times 3 is 15 plus 6 is 21. That turns out to be true. So that as a solution does in fact work. I'm going to work with another ordered pair now. And that's going to be 12, 0, where x is equal to 12. Y is equal to 0. I have that from the points here. Remember, this is order paired x, y. And we're going to work with the equation again. 5x plus y is equal to 21. We'll get 5 times 12 plus 0. Well, 5 times 12 is 60, and 60 plus 0 is 60. Well, this is not true. So we're going to say that this is a no, that the point 12, 0 is not a solution for this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other point here too. We have the point 0. I'll move this up a little bit. We have the point 0, 21, where x is equal to 0, y is equal to 21. And what we'll have for this one then is we'll have 5 times, we're going to put the same equation here, 5 times 0 plus 21 is equal to 21. 5 times 0 is 0. And we get 21 equals 21. So it would appear that the point 0, 21 is a solution for the equation that's provided there. And then you can read through all those and choose yes whether it is a solution or it is not a solution. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last couple questions on this page. So we're going to do the same thing in number 7. Determine whether point 0, 0 is a solution for that. If it is, great. If not, we need to give a justification for that. So the equation in this case is going to be x equals 3/2 y. And the point is going to be 0, 0, making the value of x equal to 0 and the y equals 0. So I'll put that in. 0 equals 3/2 of 0. It'll give us 0 equals 0. Well, that's true. So that's a solution. That's one. The other point we're given in question 7 is 3, 2. So if we're going to point 3, 2, again, we're going to put that into the equation. So we have is 3 equal to 3/2 times 2. And if you put that in the calculator, 3 over 2 times 2, that'll give us 3 equals 3. And yes, that is a solution also. So the 2 is a solution for the given linear equation. Okay. So what we're going to do in question 8 now is we're going to be working on completing this table. It says to complete this table here. So what they want from us is if we're going to be given one value, either x or y, to solve the other. So if we have y equals negative 7x, what they first give us here is that x equals 0. So let me put this up a little bit. So if x equals 0, I'm going to get then y equals negative 7 times 0. And negative 7 times 0 would be 0, so that'll mean y will equal 0. So for y in the table, I'm going to go ahead and put a 0. That's going to be the first one. Now, here we have x is equal to negative 1. So I'm going to go ahead and replace x here with negative 1. So if y equals negative 7 times negative 1, that will give us y is equal to positive 7. So give me positive 7 here. Now, for the last part here, they give me y is equal to 5. I'm going to put this over here. So y is equal to 5. And I put that into the equation y equals negative 7 times x. So now for this, I'm going to get 5 is equal to negative 7x. Now I have to solve for x. This one's not too bad, a little tricky. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 7. And what we'll get is x is equal to negative 5 over 7. Just remember that we have in the process of this, we're having to divide by negative 7, but we can't show the negative in the bottom in our final answer. So this final solution here that's going to go in here is going to be negative 5 over 7. A little difficult to fit, but I'm sure in your homework online, you should be able to fit that in. And that's the solution for number 8. We're going to complete the table for question number 9 in a similar fashion. So what we'll do is we said complete the table for the ordered pair. So we have y equals negative x minus 8. We're first given that x is equal to 0, so this is going to be y is equal to negative 0 minus 8, which when we do the math, that's just going to give us y is equal to negative 8. So negative 8 is going to go here. In the next problem, we're giving that y is equal to 0. So in the equation for, put this here, y equals negative x minus 8. Since y is equal to 0, we're going to put that here. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to add 8 to both sides now. So I'm going to make this x is equal to, or 8 is equal to negative x. And then if I divide both sides by negative 1, I'll get x is equal to negative 8. So that's going to be negative 8 here. And then finally in this last one here, if I have x equals to negative 7, let's put that in now. Y equals negative, what's this? Negative 7 minus 8. Negative negative 7, because we're subbing negative 7 in for x. Negative is part of this formula. That's going to be y equals 7, because two negatives together make a positive, minus 8. Y will equal negative 1. So that's going to be negative 1 there to complete the problem and complete the table for question 9. Let's go ahead and look at question 10 now. We're going to have x plus 3y equals 9. We want to complete the table here. So we've got x plus 3y equals 9. Then we have x equals 0. So we have 0 plus 3y equals 9. That'll give me 3y equals 9. And if I divide both sides by 3, y will equal 3. If I have y equals 0, this is going to give me x plus 3 times 0 is equal to 9, because I'm replacing y with 0. And that'll give me x equals 9, because 3 times 0 is 0. So now I'm going to have 9 for x. And finally I have y is equal to 1. So we're going to have x plus 3 times 1 equals 9. Or have x plus 3 equals 9. I can subtract 3 from both sides, or just move the 3 over, so we get x equals 9 minus 3, and x will equal 6. And that's going to be the table completed for question 10. Taking a look at question 11, we have y equals 1/4 x plus 1. We're going to put these values into here, so we have x equals 0. So we're going to have y equals 1/4 times 0 plus 1. Then y equals, well, 1/4 times 0 is 0, so y is going to equal 1. That's all will be left. Now if x equals 8, we're going to have y equals 1/4 times 8 plus 1. Then it gives me y equals, well, a quarter of 8 is 2. 2 plus 1, y equals 3. So here y is going to equal 3. For the last part here, we're going to have y is equal to 0. So we're not subbing in for x, we're subbing in for y. So this is going to be 0 equals 1/4 x plus 1. So to do this one, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1 from both sides. So I have negative 1 equals 1/4 x. You can do it that way first. You can clear out the fraction right away if you want. Now if I multiply both sides by 4 over 1, 4 over 1, I'm going to get x. This will cancel, leaving me with negative 4 is equal to x. And it says choose from the graph below that shows where these 4 points are. So you would definitely want to find which one has 0, 1. And 0, 1 is going to be, that's a good example. That's a good example. This one doesn't have it at 0, 1, so A and D are not good choices. Let's see if we can find the point negative 4, 0. So negative 4, 0, both of these seem to have that too. Okay, so B and C is good. But then the last point is 8, 3. So which one's closer to 8, 3? This one appears to be more like at 4, like 6, 4. 8, 3 is closer to here, so for that question, that's going to be choice C. And let's take a look at the last homework question from section 3.1. It says the average annual cinema admission price in dollars from 2003 to 2012 is given by this equation here with some decimals. Definitely want to use a calculator for this. It says to complete the table, and so we'll go ahead and do that. So in this one, we're going to want the equation y equals 0.29x plus 5.94. So for the first one, it's going to be y equals 0.29 times 2 plus 5.94. This is when x equals 2. If x is equal to 5, which we're getting from here, then y will equal 0.29 times 5 plus 5.94. And then for x is equal to 8, we have y equals 0.29 times 8 plus 5.94. If I'm going to complete the table, I would just do those on the calculator. And I can leave that to you as I'm running out of time, but that should be enough to show you. And then I'll go and leave you the rest of this question. And we'll go from there. Have a good day.